Hello everyone, I'm Kana Taku. In our previous episodes, I talked about terror management theory and how TMT complements our understanding of PTG. Although PTG and TMT work well together in terms of various potential reactions to concrete versus abstract, and long-term versus short-term responses to reminders of mortality, there is a competing theory. This meaning management theory, or MMT, was developed by Dr. Paul Wang as a sort of response to TMT. TMT focuses on unconscious defense mechanisms to mortality awareness, including denial, whereas MMT focuses on a conscious and intentional approach, including acceptance of eventual death. It theorizes that death is what gives our life meaning. Dr. Paul Wang is famously reported as saying, "There will be no death without life, and no life without death. I am fully alive because of the inevitable reality of death." MMT takes the power away from the anxiety regarding death through acceptance instead. In this theory, there is a difference between achievements that are motivated by fearlessness of death that happens through acceptance, as opposed to those unconsciously activated through the terror of death. In other words, your attitudes regarding life and death can either terrorize or energize your search for meaning. MMT encourages transcending automatic reactions depicted in TMT in three ways. First, rather than activating defense mechanisms in the face of existential terror, MMT suggests being mindful of the present moment. This leads to an attitude of openness, curiosity, and compassion, so humans can free themselves from constraints and connect with spiritual values. Secondly, instead of focusing on our own egoistic desires to inflate self-esteem, MMT highlights seeking a calling to contribute value to others' lives. Thirdly, rather than seeking self-esteem through the limitations of the physical world, MMT leaves behind the material world to seek out existential meaning through ultimate ideals of goodness, truth, and beauty. In addition, Dr. Wang suggests three basic pathways to meaning. 1. Do something creative or create something and then give it to the world or community. 2. Receive something that was created by others and show appreciation. And 3. Because life is full of suffering, transform suffering into the highest form of human achievement by taking a heroic stand. How then is MMT related to PTG? Both PTG and MMT predict potential positive changes as a result of suffering. However, MMT assumes that humans are meaning-seeking and meaning-making, so each person must and should be able to find a true meaning of one's own life under all circumstances, as also illustrated in Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. According to MMT, this meaning-making and self-transcendence should lead to self-fulfillment and reduce the fear of death. However, in my opinion, PTG does not need to assume that growth is predicated by meaning or meaning-making. Although it may be rare, growth can occur even when the meaning in one's life has been diminished. Since PTG is narrative in nature, it focuses more on connecting the dots between who you are, what happened, and who you are now. This may happen in the absence of added meaning. MMT suggests that people can accept death by infusing meaning into their lives, but has led me to question if meaning is a requirement for human growth. Although MMT may consider some lives shallow or wasted if they are empty of conscious meaning, I would say that these lives still have value and these humans have potential for growth or might have already experienced growth. When I talked about TMT in my previous episodes, I pointed out that increased self-esteem and PTG are not the same thing. So just like that, increased meaning-making or finding meaning may not always go with PTG. And if so, Studies that used these factors to assess actual numeric changes from pre to post-trauma may not be even valid. So there are a lot to think about it. Well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like my episodes, and I will see you soon.